Greetings, everyone. Welcome to this month's DBT or Dialectical Behavioral Therapy lesson. I'm recording this in October. It is a beautiful fall day, so happy spooky season if you're also listening to this in October. But no matter when you hear this, I appreciate you joining me today. All year long, or in other previous sessions leading up to this, I've been talking about different DBT skills. There are 4 main modules, and I'm going to start the 4th one in this session, and that is interpersonal effectiveness skills. What does that mean? Well, that is basically skills to ensure that you are effective or productive, whatever term you want to use, a synonym, at your interpersonal relationships. And this is a great one to kind of end all the modules with. I believe they all kind of build upon each other. The first module that I talked about in my program, in my hub, is mindfulness, and that to me is just the basis for everything. And then the next one was distress tolerance. Basically, if you have problems in your distress tolerance, that can make it difficult to tolerate fears, anxieties, or frustrations that are typical in, conflict situations with other people. That third module that I just wrapped up last month is emotion regulation. Now, problems in emotion regulation can lead to difficulties with decreasing anger, frustration, or with fear of another's reaction. And so it's really important to have honed your skills in those other modules before moving on to this one, interpersonal effectiveness. I'm going to basically go over some of the goals of interpersonal effectiveness, just so you kind of have an overview of what this is all about. So Marsha Linehan, who I consider the god person of DBT, she frames one of the goals is to be skillful in getting what you want and need from others. I don't know how I feel about the wording or the phrasing of that. I think that sounds a little too manipulative to me, I think. So how about just getting along with others and, get others to do things you would like them to do. Get others to take your opinion seriously. That is valid. Say no to unwanted requests effectively. That's one that I think I need to work on myself. I have trouble saying no. I always feel guilty for saying no, so that's one that's going to help me. I still have trouble with the get others to do things you'd like them to do. It just, I don't know. I don't like how manipulative that sounds, so I think just getting along. Another goal, build relationships and end destructive ones. Strengthen your current relationships. Don't let old hurts and problems build up. Use relationship skills to head off the problems. Repair the relationships when needed. And then resolve any conflicts that arise before they get overwhelming. Again, something else I myself need help with, because I tend to just avoid conflict and then it builds up and well, then it becomes way more overwhelming than if I had just addressed it before. Anyways, this is why I love DBT. And then a third goal, walk the middle path. Create and maintain balance in your relationships. Achieve balance, acceptance, and change in relationships. Oh my goodness, dealing with change in general. Come on, we all struggle with it. That's just part of our human nature. But then changes in your relationships too, that's very hard. So a couple things I want to, again, briefly go over. An overview, and then we love our acronyms in DBT. So not this session, but next session, I'm going to go over a couple acronyms of DEAR, MAN, GIVE, and FAST. All of them are going to stand for different things. I'm going to go into those next month. In the meantime, I want to briefly go over some of the factors that can get in the way of our interpersonal effectiveness, our way to be effective in our interpersonal relationships. One of those is that you don't have the interpersonal skills that you need. Of course, that's understandable, and that's why DBT is here, to help teach us, because again, a lot of our parents are not equipped with this, They could not teach us this, and I want to hope that it's getting a little bit better in schools now that mental health is way less of a stigma than it was, but, we have a long way to go. But still, this isn't typically what's taught in schools. It wasn't when, I want to say, we were growing up, so it's totally okay to learn these really at any time. Doesn't matter what life stage you're in. Another factor that can get in the way of interpersonal effectiveness: you don't know what you want. You have the skills, but you can't decide what you really want from the other person. Or maybe you can't figure out how to balance your needs versus the other person's needs. Maybe asking for too much versus not asking for anything. Or maybe saying no to everything versus giving in to everything. Sometimes we can lean towards one extreme or the other. Or our emotions can get in the way. You may have the skills, but emotions still control what you do, especially emotions such as anger, pride, contempt, fear, guilt, or shame. And that's when we want to go back to those emotion regulation skills. Lots of ways to help with that. Absolutely. Another factor getting in the way could be you forget your long-term goals for short-term goals. Sometimes we might put our immediate urges and wants ahead of the long-term goals. So in that case, the future is not as clear, and we can lose sight of that, and that's okay. Again, that is normal as human beings, because we get scared of change. And so sometimes we want to just revert back to what was familiar, even if we know it's not in our best interests. Another factor getting in the way could be other people are getting in your way. You may have the skills, but other people maybe are more powerful than you. Therefore, you're not able to make a certain change you would like because of someone in a more powerful position impeding that. Other people may be threatened or may not like you if you get what you want. Therefore, they're not going to be supportive as you would like or deserve. And finally, it's possible that your thoughts and beliefs are getting in the way. Maybe worries about negative consequences if you ask for what you want or say no to someone's request. Sometimes those worries get in the way of acting effectively. This is a big one: beliefs that you do not deserve what you want. That's a big one for me. I've struggled with that in the past. Or beliefs that others don't deserve what they want can make you ineffective. So there's 3 different types of effectiveness, if you will, when talking about interpersonal effectiveness. One is objectives effectiveness, one is relationship effectiveness, and one is self-respect effectiveness. Now, in objectives effectiveness, that is getting what you want from another person, obtaining your legitimate rights, getting another person to do something you want them to do. This could also be saying no to an unwanted request. This could also be resolving an interpersonal conflict or getting your opinion or point of view taken seriously. So how can you clarify your goals? How can you strengthen your goals and your objective effectiveness? Well, you can ask yourself, what specific results or changes, what do I have to do to get the results? Moving on to relationship effectiveness, that's keeping and improving the relationship, acting in such a way that the other person continues liking and respecting you, balancing immediate goals with the good of the long-term relationship, and maintaining relationships that matter to you. So some questions you can ask yourself to contemplate your goals, strengthening your goals in relationship effectiveness. How do I want the other person to feel about me after the interaction is over, whether or not I get the results or changes that I want? What do I have to do to get or keep this relationship? And now self-respect effectiveness, which is keeping or improving self-respect by respecting your own beliefs and values, acting in a way that makes you feel moral, and acting in a way that makes you feel capable and effective. So some contemplation questions could be, how do I want to feel about myself after the interaction is over, whether or not I get the results or changes I want? And what do I have to do to feel that way about myself? What will work? So like I said, next month I'm going to go over some acronyms that we love in DBT. The Dear Man acronym actually goes with Objectives Effectiveness. The acronym GIVE goes with Relationship Effectiveness. And the acronym FAST goes with the Self-Respect Effectiveness. Thank you again for joining me today. I hope you'll check out the meditations that correspond with this lesson. One of them has to do with forgetting about somebody that is living rent-free in your mind, and another one has to deal with patience during social anxiety. And as always, please stay kind to yourself. Take care.